Well, today's the 5th of August, and it's a beautiful day here in Southeast Alaska. Getting ready to go pre-flight the airplane to go flying this morning. Looks like I got a full day ahead of me here again. I got the airplane finished. Mechanics came and did the inspection and a little bit of work on the airplane. We got the wing on and all buttoned up and everything. And we got it launched on the 15th of July. So I've been flying for a couple, 3 weeks now. I just haven't taken the opportunity to dig out my cameras and set up on the airplane to take a video, any videos of us flying, but I'll take a little video of getting the airplane going here today. Neighbor here has got his beaver in the hangar. He'll be getting it out pretty soon. Surprised he's not down here yet, but tide is out. In fact, it's still going out. It's not out all the way yet. Hour or so for it to drop down a little bit more. Later on today, when it comes in, about 6 hours or so, it'll be up there about where the pilings are on that house there. We get a pretty good tide range here. It's big tides now. So I'll go ahead and head down here to get the airplane going. Got a drive down ramp here, dock and stuff for the Seaplane facilities. Well, this is my old friend Butch's hangar here. It's getting in pretty bad disrepair. He passed away a few years ago. Some other people have it now. He's supposed to be getting it fixed up, but I haven't seen him do anything with it for a couple of years now. So now we got some sea lions down here on the dock. We'll see if they let us by. They've been pulling out on this Seaplane dock here pretty regular now. You know, that one's going to go in, and they make a mess here. They crap all over everything and then roll in it and smear it all around, and it's just nasty, half-digested fish. Yeah, no, you go out of the way. You don't belong here. I got wet here. There's crap smeared all over. I put a hose out here so we could wash it at that dock off. So, no, you get. Whoa, get. Oh, get. Go on. Get. You get. Go on, get. My friend has his hangar here. His airplane's being up at the airport now, getting repairs done to it. They let me keep some of the stuff that I need in here that I use. I've got oil and my pump for pumping the floats out. You get otters in here crapping on the floor and making a mess in here, so I got this device here that makes noise. It's got a detector on it, motion detector on it. When it goes off, it starts making noise. Hopefully it kept them off. I don't see any crap on the dock today. I don't know what I'm going to do about getting past that sea lion out there. He's not going to let me by this morning. All right, that sea lion left. Usually they see people, they leave, but boy, that one was aggressive this morning. Okay. We got another one of those motion detector things here on the dock, and so far sea lion hasn't pulled out here. Well, anyway, here's the airplane. I got to get it ready to pre-flight. One of the things I got to do is we got gust locks on here for the flaps and the ailerons. Take those off. So I got to come up here and open the side window and then reach across and open the door. And I got a fuel checker here use that to stick in the bottom of the wing here. We got a drain for the fuel tank and drain a little bit of fuel in there. Any water or anything like that is gonna and debris and stuff is gonna settle right in that bottom corner of that fuel tank. So we check that to make sure it's clean. And I have a little fuel gascolator, they call it, a little filter here going into the engine. It has a drain on it. Check that. And keeping an eye out in case one of those damn sea lions decides to attack me. Not trust them now. Usually didn't bother anybody, but unless you're in the water. Okay, so got another drain over here on this fuel tank. Clear, no debris or no water in that. That's good. Now we got opening here. This these little wing screws. Open those up, and that opens the cowling for the engine. And I can inspect the engine pretty good. That opens it up pretty good right there. The first thing I do is to check the oil, and it's good. And then doing a quick inspection in here, make sure there's nothing leaking. Sometimes these exhaust gaskets will blow out a little bit and start leaking the intake. Make sure everything's intact in there. Primer lines and alternator belt. Check everything out in there, make sure there's no oil leaks or anything. Now that the cowling is buttoned back up, I come in here into the cabin and make sure the magnetos and the master switch is off, and make sure that the mixture switch is pulled all the way out. It's a lean mixture, engine idle cutoff. And then I'll pull the propeller through a few times, and that gives me a check of the compression. Make sure I still got compression in the engine in case something is bad there. And it kind of gets the oil circulating around a little bit before we start it up. Alright, now I've got the engine started up. I let it warm up for a little while, and while it's warming up, I'll go take these control locks over to the hangar and set them over there for a little bit and wash that dock off where that sea lion mess was there going into the hangar. We'll let the engine warm up for a little while, then we'll do a run up on the engine and make sure everything is copacetic on it. There's that damn sea lion out there. He didn't go very far. Well, I washed some of the crap off this dock. My hose that I put in there for the dock going into the hangar isn't long enough to reach down here where they were here. But the airplane's warmed up enough now that I go do an engine check on it. These are snot all over the place down here. Nasty critters. So now what I'll do is I'll go ahead and run that engine up to about 1700 RPM and switch one mag off at a time to check to make sure the magnetos are working properly, and then check the carburetor heat to make sure it's working properly, and then I'll shut the engine down and do the rest of the pre-flight. I'll make sure the magnetos are turned off and the master's turned off so the engine is cold and the mixture is out. We've got the engine mixture cut off on. So that's it. She's running good. Is pump the floats out. And that does two things. One, it pumps the floats out But it also tells me if there's any kind of a problem with the floats, if there's any hole in the floats or anything, since we don't spend a whole lot of time on the water here. But you can see those little pockets right there. They got rubber balls in them, and each one of those is a separate compartment, a watertight compartment. There's 6 of them on these floats, so I checked the ones from the step compartment forward first because the water runs downhill to where the pickup is on those, and then I'll push the plane in the water and check the ones on the back, because right now any water in there would be run away from where the pickup hose is. Plus I can't get to them because they're in the water. I'd have to, and that ramp is slippery. So I'll pull those balls out of there and use my pump those out, check them, do this side and then the other side. Then we'll shove the plane back in the water and do a walk around on it, check the tail and the wings and stuff, and pump those other floats out and be ready to go. Alright, I've looked over the front of the airplane really good, looked over the leading edges of the wings, checked the engine, checked the propeller, checked the wing, the struts, the float attach fittings and stuff there, all the struts on those, make sure everything's copacetic on those. Look the floats over real good, make sure there's no damage to those, and wing struts. So now I'll untie the airplane, shove it in the water and turn it around and inspect the tail and pump those rear of those floats out. I've got this tied down with 2 lines to the front struts on the floats. I used to tie the wings down, but the doggone sea lions started hauling out here on this dock, and they're rolling around on there, knocking things around and stuff. And if one of them ever hit that tie down rope and rolled against it, it would just pull that wing right off and damage it pretty severely. So I can't tie the wings down. Well, anyway, I'll just untie it here and slide it back. Now this dock is just a wooden dock, and those planks down there are treated with creosote, which comes out in this hot weather. But that ramp, I've been working on that for 30 years here, I guess, and it was starting to get chewed up pretty good and getting tough to slide the floats down into the water, the airplane down into the water. So I got some UHMW and made pads there that I run the airplane out on the UHMW, and then it slides down in the water a lot easier. In the water down there, the mussels and other marine life grow on there, and the mussels are real sharp. So I come down here every spring or every summer with a shovel and clean that lower portion of the ramp off so that the plane slides off there and there's nothing sharp to cut the floats. Anyway, I better get that done. Okay, the plane is all pre-flighted and ready to go. Next thing to do is to start it up and taxi it out, and I'll take it over to the dock and fuel it up. We got handles down here for handling the airplane. I just take my line and run through there with a quick knot like that to undo it, and then go get in the airplane and go. I got the plane over here on the dock. Now I got to fuel it up. I got a 100-gallon fuel tank in the back of the pickup with avgas in it, and hose, filter, pump, and all that. I'll get that out and fill the airplane up. So I got wing tanks, one in each wing, 18 gallons, and then the belly tank holds 32 gallons. It's almost empty because we flew it for a little over 4 hours yesterday, so the fuel's pretty low. So anyway, we'll get that done. Well, the airplane's all ready to go. My passenger is here, so we're ready to take off. We'll go load up. I got all my gear and everything loaded in there, and he's got his gear loaded in there. So we'll get loaded up, take off, and get busy and do our work for the day.